Nick Viall, one of the biggest names in Bachelor Nation, not to mention the name that no one seems to know how to pronounce. The man that was on The Bachelorette not once, but twice, who was runner-up on both those seasons and got a redemption arc in Paradise and became the 21st Bachelor. So when Chris Harrison announced that his season was going to be the 9th installment in the Bachelor Greatest Seasons Ever special, I thought, I mean, no shade, it's not a bad season, but is it the best? Well, why don't you be the judge?
I just don't like you.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I wasn't excited when you were in, so.
Oh. Well, I am sorry. You think it's gonna work?
I think you might need a fifth time.
Now, Nick is one of the few men who got the Bachelor gig after his appearance on Bachelor in Paradise. Probably also because we were coming off of JoJo's season, and the options for Bachelor were one of Robbie, Luke Pell, or Chase. So, yeah.
I think I'll pass.
Then Nick had his love story with Jen Saviano that ended up in a split, and we had our new Bachelor emerge. And this season was all about Nick's fear of getting to that final 2 rose ceremony again, and not finding love for the 3rd time. So it's night 1, and it's time for Nick to meet his ladies. 4th time's the charm, right? And one thing I will say is that this season had a rather strong cast of women, many of whom are very recognizable and still showing up in the latest editions of Bachelor in Paradise. Here are some of those women that I won't be talking about in this short video, but who made a splash in Paradise at some point. There's Whitney, the gal who came into Paradise Season 6 and left immediately to go after Connor, Angela of that whole Clay drama last Paradise, Kristen, infamously named Scallop Fingers, Jasmine from Paradise Season 4, Lacey, who got led on by Canadian Danielle, Danielle, aka D-Lo of the Dean Love Triangle Finasco, another Danielle who wanted to date Wells, the bartender, and Astrid of one of my favorite Bachelor Nation couples, Astrid and Kevin. And there are more recognizable women that we'll touch on as we see them in the season. So, the limos arrive, and as the women exit, we get our usual mix of serious contenders, like Vanessa.
You are even better looking in person.
Oh, thank you. You are, wow.
Merci. Je m'appelle Vanessa.
Oh, wow.
Et je suis très, très contente d'être ici avec toi.
And gimmicks, like Alexis.
So that's a dolphin, it's not a shark? I have a dolphin.
I keep thinking it's a shark.
And this aspiring dolphin trainer sets off the night with a debate. Is she in a dolphin costume or a shark costume?
Is it a shark or a dolphin?
The noise of dolphin.
Wrong!
Okay, take a look at this picture. This is the famous left shark, not the famous left dolphin. So as far as I'm concerned, case closed. Oh yeah, and she's another person you might recognize from Paradise. Now, as the night goes on, other strong contenders in the bunch are Christina, again from multiple seasons of Paradise, including the recent Blake mess, Raven, another hugely recognizable face from the Bachelor franchise, and, of course, Rachel, the future Bachelorette and first impression rose recipient.
Rachel, will you accept this rose?
100%.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Rachel's is one of my favorite seasons, but due to licensing issues, The Bachelor won't be featuring her season in the GOAT special. That being said, I did a video on her season, and you should go check that out if you want to hear her love story. But back to Nick, and of course, night 1 of any typical Bachelor season wouldn't be complete without a woman who drives the other ladies nuts. And this season's, quote, villain is an iconic one.
So tonight, I'm gonna go see Nick, and I'm going to have sex with him. My heart is gold, but my vagine is platinum.
Corinne Olympios, always napping.
Where's Corinne?
She's upstairs. She's just upstairs.
Corinne, I really do think that she's just used to being baby.
Always ready with an inspirational quote.
Michael Jordan took naps. Abraham Lincoln took naps.
And a down-to-earth life story.
You have a nanny? I do. Do you have kids? No.
Raquel keeps my life together, okay? She makes sure that my bed is made every morning.
I think we should make our parks look like my room after Yolanda finally, gave in and cleaned it up for me.
That's a very sweet story, Bobby, but not all of us have Yolandas who can clean up our room for us.
But Corinne really vilifies herself in the eyes of the other women during week 2 on a wedding photo shoot group date. 'Cause Corinne feels like she needs to do something to stand out.
Thanks.
Now, pretty much every woman disliked Corinne at this point, but none seemingly more so than Taylor, who you might recognize as the lady who got engaged to Derek in season 4 of Bachelor in Paradise. This mental health counselor really had no patience for Corinne's antics, and she wasn't afraid to let her know.
I didn't know if you had the maturity or the emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence?
So, intelligence can mean a variety of different areas.
Okay.
And of course, with these two continuously bumping heads, it's the perfect opportunity for a classic Bachelor 2-on-1, where Nick gives his rose to Corinne cause, you know, boobs. But the journey continues, and one of the women who didn't make it to the final 4 but I felt should have, or rather someone I was rooting for, was Christina. Mostly because she had this heartbreaking story about her time before being adopted, how hungry she was, and how she ate lipstick at one point as a child. That step away from the fantasy bubble of Bachelor was why I liked Christina so much when I was watching it. Christina then of course went on to get her heart broken by Dean in Bachelor in Paradise, and then there was that whole friendship/relationship/revenge, I don't know, whatever it was, scenario with Blake this past season of Paradise. Now, eventually, the women who did make it to Nick's top 4 were Vanessa, because she was a strong contender from the start, Raven, because she continuously grew her relationship with Nick over the season, Rachel, because of her first impression and intelligence, and Corinne, because of her boobs. And during hometowns, while Nick was getting treated to a light day of shopping with Corinne,
it's going to be $3,423.80.
Thank you.
You don't even flinch. This might be the most expensive outfit I've ever worn.
Bachelor Nation was pulling their hair out, wondering if the designated villain was going to go all the way. Alas, though, it was not meant to be, as Corinne got sent packing after hometowns. Today, Corinne is in a relationship and has appeared in programs with famous actors like Sacha Baron Cohen. And by appeared in programs, I mean this.
So we want to do a little thing to say that you were helping Sierra Leone. We put you in here, no one's going to know it wasn't you. And then we green screened and it looks beautiful.
Which now leaves Rachel, Raven, and Vanessa. Now with Rachel, everything seemed strong and in place.
That I'm falling in love with you.
Oh my God.
But at the end of the day, the final 3 must come down to a final 2. And for Nick, his romantic connection with Rachel didn't surpass Vanessa and Raven's. So Rachel heads home and is quickly announced to be the next Bachelorette, which leaves just Raven and Vanessa. Both had strong growing relationships with Nick through the season, and while I viewed the original airing, my personal feeling was that Vanessa seemed like the frontrunner, a French-Canadian special education teacher who won our hearts in her hometowns.
This is Nick, but you know who Nick is for me?
Yeah, your boyfriend.
Yes!
You're lucky.
He's lucky.
And who had one of the coolest dates in Bachelor history, a zero-gravity one-on-one. But it was Raven who I was personally rooting for. To me, she didn't make a splash in the beginning, but steadily grew her relationship throughout the season. A fashion boutique owner who was really down to earth. And one thing that the show didn't really cover in the special was this whole storyline of her never having had an orgasm before, so pressure was on for Nick in his fantasy suite with Raven. And when it came to that morning after, well, here's Raven's reaction.
I will say this, Nick is really good at what he does. So I'm pretty satisfied today.
And the Oscar goes to...
Raven later stated that she did not, in fact, have an orgasm that night. Sorry, Nick. So with fantasy suites done, there's only one thing left to do, the final rose ceremony. As per usual, first one out of the limo is the one getting dumped. Yep, Raven gets disappointed once again and is sent home at the final rose ceremony. Today, she's another big name in Bachelor Nation, having met her now fiancé Adam, who had that creepy doll in Rachel's season, and the two are waiting to elope as soon as the pandemic will allow. Which leaves only one woman, Vanessa.
Vanessa Grimaldi, will you marry me?
The two get engaged, but unfortunately have since split. Neither regret trying to make the relationship work, and actually Vanessa very recently got engaged to someone from outside of the show. As for Nick, he's still looking for his love story. But in Bachelor Nation, he's one of the biggest names out there, with him still contributing to the show and running the Viall Files podcast. And who knows, maybe one day, the 5th time will be the charm.
5th time's the charm.
So that's it for this video recapping Nick's season in about 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to like and subscribe if you did. In just a few days, the GOAT special is going to return and finish with Juan Pablo's infamous season, including Bachelorette Claire Crawley. So until next video, Bachelor Fan Take, out.
I'm stupid and I'm not emotionally intelligent and I'm not mature enough to be in a relationship with Nick.